What's up, everybody? Welcome back to the channel. I want to thank you all for following along as we go. Today we're doing a little bit something different. We're bringing in TSGG video reviews. This is going to be episode 1 of that, and we're going to be reviewing Kingdom Hearts 3. We've got our very own review scale with 5 different gradable topics that we'll go over in a minute. But if you do enjoy the video, like and subscribe. We really appreciate it. Now into the grading scale, we've got fun factor and emergence is worth up to 20 points. We've got control and gameplay mechanics also up to worth another 20 points. From there, we then have graphics for the game and music and sound, followed finally by story and replayability of the game. We're going to go through each of these topics, discuss a little bit using Kingdom Hearts 3 as our first review. Yeah, that's what we're gonna do, guys, and then finally we'll finish with the actual grade that TSGG is going to provide. So just to jump right into it with you guys, I'm gonna start with the fun factor and emergence. Basically, Kingdom Hearts 3 for me is absolutely beautiful. The combat is incredibly fun and smooth. So as far as fun factor and emergence goes, it's really good for me personally, and you'll see that in the videos behind. It's just the amount of things that they put into the combat, the amount of things that they put into the game for you to focus on and do, makes it definitely a really fun and enjoyable experience. And it's something that you can't kind of AFK. You definitely have to be involved in it. So the emergence is really, it's just very good, and it's all there. So this one I am actually going to give our top grade. It is going to receive 20 points out of 20 points for the fun factor. Moving on to the controls, game and gameplay mechanics, this one it's going to take kind of a big hit because of the fact that the gummy ship mechanics are one of the worst flight mechanics that I've played in any game to date. The fact that I can't fly around and without being a boosting, and especially because of the flight mechanics inside the combat and space are so well done, that it's just frustrating for me that flight mechanic wasn't moved over into the actual gameplay. Into the flight. It's only during the combat. So for me, that's pretty frustrating. Running after you've run into 10 walls and you just can't turn, and it's just very clunky mechanics. Outside of the gummy ship, though, the mechanics are great. Like we just talked about with the emergence, the combat mechanics are fluid and fantastic. But with the gummy ship, that definitely does take a hit there. So I did award it 12 points there. Just because of the fact that the gummy ship flight mechanics are so bad and they are such a big part of the game, considering most of the grind in the game is in space, most of the upgrades for your keyblades, things like that. That is a lot of space flight, and it's a major part of the game. So that did score 12 out of 20 there. Next up, we have the graphics. Now, if you've ever watched a Kingdom Hearts game, you know that they have so much color, so much beauty. But Kingdom Hearts 3 took that to a new level. Just the amount of amusement park things that you can do in the game that are so well done and beautiful, and even the less enjoyable ones like the water park ride, really, really beautiful, really fits into the game world. And then you just have to take a look at the world around you. Look at Twilight Town. Look at all of these worlds. Look at Corona. Look at Arendelle. These are really, really well done worlds that they put a lot of time and effort into, including the actual storms in Arendelle with the Frozen, and just it's so well done. Naturally, they did have a lot to pull from with Disney. If you look at Monsters Inc. world and what they did with Sora in the Monsters Inc. world, Monstropolis, it's just really beautiful, and I'm so impressed with that. So they did score the top score there as well with a 20. And that's not even talking about the battles, the actual boss fights, the things that you do in the game. This is just based on the world and actually involved in the situations of combat and things like that. It's just really, really well done by them. So props to them, props to Square Enix. They usually do pretty well there, but scoring a 20 on graphics is something in this day and age you're not going to see as often because of the clipping issues and things like that you see in a lot of the games. So really well done there. Moving on to music and sound. It's Square Enix, it's Kingdom Hearts 3. They're always going to have just beautiful music and sound, and they have so much to pull from Frozen, from Tangled, all these worlds that they pulled from, they had music in them and beautiful scores, as Disney movies usually tend to do. So it's not kind of surprising that they had a really beautiful score in the game. This one, the only thing that for me I couldn't deal with was the Toy Story world that had "You Got a Friend in Me" playing on repeat in the background 100 times. If you were the type of person that grinds out the RPG and looks for all the symbols and things like that, you probably heard "You've Got a Friend in Me" about 10,000 times, and that is pretty annoying and kind of gets stuck in your head, and it's just wasn't great for the emergence of that specific world. So that hurt it just a little bit there for me, just because of the fact that it was so limited. But I did give it an 18 on the sound and music. So that's a really high score for us. A really high score for the musical score. So really well done by Square Enix again there, and they do tend to have that in most of their games that you see, where their score tends to be really well done. Final Fantasy, things like that. You know that they're going to have good music regardless every time one's announced. So Square Enix is good at that, and well done. Finally, story and replayability. This is one that I'm gonna kind of have to delve into a little bit, because it's two different things for me here. You've got the story and the replayability, but that also to me includes the writing. And this is something, if you've listened to the podcast or you've watched our videos, you've heard me talk about it. Basically, for me, it just gets frustrating because of the fact that the game isn't specifically designed and targeted at adults, even though for Kingdom Hearts, the people that played the first two are now adults. So with the writing, it does at times get very, very cringy, and just the way that they kind of set it up is very cringe factor. So as it's been described to me, it's targeted at the younger generation. It's targeted at because it is a Disney game, it's Disney related, so it is targeted there, which I understand completely. However, like I mentioned, the first two games, they're completely, those people that played those are now adults. So I would have liked to seen something directed at us, something kind of that Disney does tend to do in their children's movies as well, directed at the adults to kind of give them something so it's not such a cringy experience. And in this game, it didn't really have that. It was just very, very cringy. The Pirates of the Caribbean world was almost just unwatchable because of the fact that the cringe factor was so high. But that's kind of the negative of the writing. The story itself, I mean, where could they really go wrong as far as having all of these Disney movies to pull from? Just it made it easier for them. I don't want to say that they didn't put a ton of work into this, because the story itself really fits together. They really pulled all the endings together and even give it a surprise twist with the secret ending. I'm not going to give that away for you guys. Definitely collect those lucky emblems if you're looking to find out what that secret ending is. But they did really pull a lot of things together and kind of complete the story of Sora. And if you guys are interested in that, those videos will be coming in the future. But and then with the replayability, I have to give it a high score here, just because the combat that I mentioned earlier is so fluid and beautiful that I'm not going to ever get bored doing that. The actual Keyblades have so many different variations, and there's so many things that you can work on with them, whether you're going to go Keyblade focus or Magic focus. So they really did have a lot of variety there that adds to the game. So with the story and replayability, I did end up giving it a pretty high score. I gave it an 18 again there, as far as the story and replayability, just because of the fact that the writing was cringy. However, they did have the reasoning. It is directed at another audience. It isn't exactly my own, so I can see the difference there, but I did have to knock the points off for that. But as far as the story and the actual replayability factors for us, it's pretty high rated, just because of the fact that the Keyblades, they're so well designed, the combat is so fluid that I'm not going to get bored playing the game. So I did have to give it the 18 points there. So if you total everything up, starting from the beginning, we gave it a 20 for fun factor and emergence, a 12 for control and gameplay mechanics, which is 32. Moving on to the graphics, we gave it another 20 there, which would be 52. And then you got 18 for the final two, music, sound, and story and replayability, which is a total score of an 88, which in our scale does total out to an A grade. Really, really well done game by Kingdom Hearts. or sorry, by Square Enix. Kingdom Hearts 3 did tie a lot of things together and kind of end the story for them, or so you'll see, I guess. You'll find out about that. Check out the future videos if you aren't playing the game, and if you do want to see them anyway, they're going to come out. But an A grade from us is really, we highly recommend the game. It doesn't quite reach our SS grade, which we gave to only a few games this year anyway. But definitely worth checking out and seeing the actual game for yourself. It's beautiful. The combat's fantastic. There are quite a few cutscenes, and they do tend to get cringy. So if you don't feel like watching them on your own, you can definitely skip them. They do give you that option. But for us, trying to review the game, we did want to get the full effect. So we went through everything just for you guys. But that's what I've got on the game so far. You can definitely see everything in the background behind all of that footage. Just see exactly what I'm talking about for yourselves a little bit, and then the game is definitely worth picking up, so we do recommend it. But that is all that I do have for you all today. I hope you enjoyed the first TSGG video review. Check out more coming soon, including Stardew Valley from Kaylee, as well as Apex Legends, the brand new Battle Royale from Respawn. We're going to be reviewing those. I hope you all enjoyed. Again, if you did, leave a like and subscribe. It really does help us out. And as always, guys, I hope you have a wonderful rest of your week. See you later.